afternoon, good evening. This is like our official welcoming first global mentorship session. Welcome in the program. Just want to mention that this is our first session in 2024, and I'm very happy to say that in 2 days, Global Mentorship program will turn 2 years. So last 2 years already, like Chevening alumni and fellow Cheveners are volunteering to share their experience for new generation. So welcoming, Kevin, if you can please change the slide. Just want to say a little bit about the first year. So in the picture right now, you see the Chevening alumni. It was the first year, and I was a participant of the Global Mentorship program this year. So it was kind of pleasure for me to be part of the project. And I think like 70% of my success of the story is to be a part of the project. So that's why I took this responsibility to share my knowledge to you guys. And I have a volunteer here, one of alumni and one of the fellow Cheveners. So I hope that for you will be also as successful as for us. Having also been last year part of the Chevening Mentorship. Right now you see the pictures of from last year. So it was the 7th session for the new generation, and we try our best to share all the tips and experience that we had during our interview session. And one more time, congratulations for you. This is the biggest achievement. You are one step close to the to your goal, and I know that waiting time is deadly and very hard for you. I completely understand it might affect your mental health sometimes, especially in our time, because we wait until June and July. I remember, Aygul, you said like it was in July your answer, right? So be strong, and let's officially start our today's session. So just wanted to introduce you guys two amazing Chevening scholars. And please, guys, floor is for you. Introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Maia. Hello, everyone, and congratulations for making it until this step. I'm Aygul Salehova. I just came back from the UK from my amazing tuning experience. I was in Aberdeen for 1 year to study film and visual culture, and I had incredible time in Scotland. And then I stayed a little bit more to explore the UK until my visa lets me do it. And I came back to Azerbaijan, to my home country, a month ago. And Kevin, you?
Yeah, hi, I'm Kevin. Thank you to have me here. I'm a global citizen, originate from Thailand, and I'm studying in the Sussex University in Brighton. So it's deep south, and these two chiefs is from the north, like far from me. So yeah, it's very, very glad to have two Scotland chiefs here. So congrat again to the everyone's here for the to come on this stage. Yeah.
I will just add my name and my university, because as fast and as much as you speak, you forget the main points. So remember that firstly, you have to introduce yourself and don't skip it like me. So I'm Maia, and I was studying at University of Glasgow, and my field was inclusive education. And during my Chevening journey, I have met Aygul and Kevin, both of them. And I'm so happy to have this opportunity, because each case and each person in Chevening has a unique story. So I'm sure that because you are already on this stage, you have this uniqueness, and just we will share our experience how to use this unique opportunity for your interview to achieve your goals. So let's start.
Okay, I'm going to be the first starting. First of all, I truly want to congratulate all of you guys. Don't think that it's kind of, this motivational speech just to cheer you up, but seriously, this is an important stage because I'm going to be speaking a little bit about my personal experience. I have applied to Chevening 3 times. Yes, 3 years. And the first time I didn't make it to the interview stage. The second time I made it to the interview stage, I didn't get the award. And the third year, finally, I made it to the Chevening and to the UK. So I have actually lots to say. But mostly I want to share my experience in what I did different in my second interview, because I've been to interview twice. And I've tried to kind of make a little bit of little tips and tricks. I saw the other guys' slides and they're making a lot of valid points about how to prepare for your interview, how to be prepared for the day and everything. So I'm going to be touching a little bit of maybe specific tips and tricks for you to get ready for that. First of all, you probably all know that Chevening interview, well, you probably know all the details. It is mostly written in the websites, and on the YouTube you can find a bunch of videos about it. But the interview itself is somewhere between 15 minutes and 45 minutes. And this length doesn't mean anything. My 2 interviews were totally different from each other. In my first interview, it was maybe more than 45 minutes. I think I was over the deadline, and I saw the panel's eyes telling each other that, it's time, just let the girl go. And the second time, the opposite. It was maybe less than 15 minutes. And it definitely doesn't say anything about how the interview went, because the first time I went out, I was like, oh, okay, it was 45 minutes. Probably they loved me because they asked a lot of questions and everything. And the second time, the opposite. I thought, okay, it was just 3 questions and they didn't ask me anything. I didn't have a chance to speak, but then actually happy news came to me eventually. So don't stress out about the time. It usually depends on the person, it depends on the field, it depends on the day, on the mood and everything. When you're going out of interview, don't expect anything and the lens tell you anything about it. First of all, my first point is going to be get through. What I mean by that, I know that the other guys will talk about the research a lot, which is probably the main and the first step for you to prepare for the interview. But what I want to talk about today is just to think it through for yourself. For example, take your time, sit, take a piece of paper, and think through all of the main questions. Who you are, who do you want to be? Why are you applying for Chevening? Not just researching online what you should answer or something like that, but truly think for yourself who you want to be, who you are, and how you want to present yourself. First of all, you should write down a couple of bullet points and make it clear first for yourself, because if you are not sure who you are and who you want to be, it's almost impossible to convince the panel what do you want to do. First of all, there are 4 main questions. Everybody knows about it. Probably you are just here with them. It's leadership, networking, studying in the UK, and your future plans. But truly think about them. Who is your leader? And what is really something that relates you to that leader? And try to write everything with the bullet points. So this is really a biggest mistake I did in my interview, the first one. I basically took like a week of my work and I thought I'm going to be preparing for the interview. And I did hundreds of mock-up interviews. I knew everything sentence by sentence, how I'm going to reply to the questions. They're asking me and I'm like a gun, I'm shooting answers. I don't let them finish the question because I know what they're going to ask me because I've prepared so much. So basically, I took a little flat in a village. I isolated myself from everything. And for like a week, I did nothing but Chevening interviews. And I still didn't get it. It was so frustrating. I can even I wish I had the pictures of the whiteboards I had while I was preparing. So sentence by sentence, I knew everything. And what I understand is in the interview, it sounded very fake. Whatever they ask, I'm so nervous to recall all the sentences I've written for myself. I'm just, clicking my fingers and shooting like a gun. It's like I'm telling a poem that I've learned by heart. Don't do it. Don't be too prepared. For two reasons. First of all, it's going to sound like your thoughts don't flow naturally. It's going to give an impression that in different situations, you can't really speak about something, speak about your ideas, speak about yourself naturally. It's not going to flow. And secondly, when you give ideal answers, whatever they want to hear, they're going to ask questions to, excuse me, guys, can you mute, please? Yeah, sorry. They're going to ask questions to challenge you a little bit to see what are your, how do you naturally talk? It should sound very natural. For example, I was very prepared for all of the questions. I knew my courses very well. I knew my future plans very well and everything. They started asking me very interesting daily life questions. Like, for example, my first choice was University of Aberdeen. And they're like, do you know how is the weather in Aberdeen? Or do you know how many independent cinemas there are in Aberdeen? And I was truly a little bit shocked. I knew most of the answers, but they could feel the difference, that some questions were written word by word and learned by heart, but some of them I'm like, actually, yes, I know. Don't do it. Be prepared, but always do the bullet points. Always allow yourself a little bit change in the flow of your sentences, in the flow of your storytelling, and don't make it sound super fake like I did. Which will bring me to my second point, which is content is the most important thing. Content is the thing that really matters. I didn't do this mistake, but I have heard it from a lot of tuning applicants. Mostly people, especially with the IELTS exams and everything, they try to use the language they're not capable of. This is a big mistake, big mistake. On your interview day, you're going to be focusing on a lot of things. You have to showcase yourself. You have to talk about your choices, your essay, your story, your work, your volunteering. You try to impress the panel. There are lots of things for you to focus on. And if you have one more thing, which is a complicated English language, it's going to be a minus point for you. It is too much to take in. I understand that everybody wants to use all this complicated grammar, all these words that you've learned from books. But if you're not capable of that language, if you don't talk like that in your daily life, if you can't really flow naturally with these words, try to avoid them. It is totally fine to speak in a simple language until, to the point that you express your ideas very clearly. The important thing is for them to understand who you are, what do you want to be, what you're going to do in the UK, and things related to that. They're not English language teachers, or they're not assessing your English language level. Chevening even doesn't have an IELTS certificate thing, because universities are the ones that are doing it. So Chevening interview is not the place to showcase your English. This is definitely not an English language exam. And actually speaking your, the language that you usually talk will have lots of benefits for you, because as I said, it's not going to sound by heart. All these words that you learn from this, 1001 essential words in English, academic vocabularies and everything, if they don't flow naturally in your speech, they're not going to help you. I'm sorry. Just don't push yourself that much. Also, I'm going to be a little bit direct, but I'm not trying to be rude. There are many Cheveners with bad English, and not at all doesn't mean that they didn't deserve it or they weren't good enough. There are amazing, amazing Cheveners in their fields. There are leaders in the countries. There are a lot of things that bring novelty to their countries, to their communities, but they don't have that complicated English, and they perfectly got Chevening scholarship, and they did very well in their universities. Some of them even got distinction or something. It also depends on the field, of course, especially if you're a tech person, if you're an engineer, if you're working in a lab, or I don't know, if you're a medicine school or something like that. Definitely, this is not an important thing. But even though you are doing something, I don't know, humanities, arts, literature, or anything, don't try to push yourself with the language. Which brings to my third point, is be yourself. You all think that you need to, showcase your leadership potential, everything you have done. I know many of you probably have done lots of volunteering, you have work experience, you have lots of things you want to talk about, but it is not about the numbers. So I got the Chevening when I was 30 years old. I was quite old enough to do many things in my life. And I could tell that everything I have done could fit maybe 5 pages. And the first mistake that I made was trying to fit everything, trying to tell everything. I have done this, I have done that. I also have done this, I also have done that. I have so many followers on Instagram. I also did, this big project. It was this budget, it was that. It was just mess of numbers and words. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter how old are you and how big, large, I don't know, varies your experience is. The important thing is your potential. I know many people that have done the bare minimum qualifications for Chevening and have got it, because it's about the potential you have. It's about who you're going to be after you're getting your master's degree. Some people might have done just one work, couple of little volunteering experiences, but the important thing is, what have you learned from it, and what is your potential to learn from your future experiences. For example, after doing that mistake, I took only 2-3 very specific moments from my background, like a little day in a little project, a little bit of conflict or challenge or success. And I've tried to talk about it and how I acted in that very situation. It's not important that you coordinated 100 people. You might have coordinated just 3 people, but it's important how you showcase your challenges and what you've learned from them. Because if you have enough potential, they're going to believe that during that year, you're going to learn a lot, you're going to take in a lot, and you're going to be someone very useful for your community. Which brings me to my fourth point, be original. As I've written here, there are no right or wrong answers. Sometimes we're too prepared to give the answers the panel wants to hear from us, but it's not always the case. Imagine Chevening has been there for, I don't know, dozens of years, I don't even know. They have seen a bunch of Chevening applicants with very impressive answers and everything. The important thing is to impress them. So as I said in my first interview, I gave all of the right answers. Whatever they asked, I knew that my answers are very right. If you have written them, they would be flowing very naturally. They would be very good. They would be straight to the point because I have done my research very well. But the little thing that I didn't do is I never showed my originality. I never showed why I'm different than the others. There should be some little things to impress the panel. There is only one important thing: to give the impressive answers. In this, of course, you have to think about yourself. I'm sure everybody has something to say. Everybody is so original and unique, and I'm sure you can find these details in your life and in your experience. The important thing is how you tell them. In this, maybe I would recommend you to take some tips and tricks from storytelling, maybe, especially the ones in humanities and related fields. For example, in my first application, it's basically the same method. So I'm going to give an application example. I've written everything that, I was the first one to do this, I was the first one to do that, and everything. In my second application, my stories would flow. Guys, can you please mute? Yes. In my second application, it would start something like that. One day, I have decided that let's bring some color to the city, something like that. So it's so important that you use some original storytelling to showcase your stories, because sometimes we feel like the panel has done the research. Sometimes we feel like they probably have read all of our CV. They probably know all of these organizations we worked in. They probably know where this city is, where this country is, where everything goes. They probably know your previous university or something. Usually no. Usually they read your essays maybe that day, maybe the day before, maybe a couple of minutes before you came in, and there are a bunch of other applicants. So it's not important how you showcase the quantity of it, but it's important how you showcase the impressiveness, the originality of it. So I would definitely recommend to use some storytelling. Just close your eyes and think about the time that you've done something and explain it like you're explaining a movie, Once I went into that room and they were these people and they told me that we have this problem. I thought, how can I fix it? Blah, 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 like that. I am sure this will help you a lot. First of all, it's going to be a super chill option instead of, just saying things directly. And secondly, you're going to create an image of yourself in their eyes. Because imagine that these people know nothing about you, and everything you say, every answer you say is like a piece of puzzle. And then one by one, they're putting some pieces of puzzles. And sometimes there can be, some gaps as well. So it depends on you. How do you want to create that image in their brains, in their minds? Being original will create a full image in their eyes. Important thing is they don't forget you. You might be an ideal candidate, but they might easily forget you because they have seen hundreds of ideal candidates. It's important to be original. I have heard a couple of little tricks that people do, for example. I never did it, but I really appreciate the ones that do it. For example, some people, if they have worked in a book, written a book, or I don't know, made something handmade, created something, they have photos or something important, something colorful, something that panel will remember, they bring it to the interview. This is such a fantastic idea. So try to think out of the frame, I know it sounds like the interview is very strict, you leave your bag there, you have your ID only and everything. But no, sometimes you can think of the creative ways to showcase yourself. Just try to be original. Never try to be ideal. And never try to be someone else, someone that you are not. And guys, can you please mute? Hello, fellow Cheveners. Yeah, okay, thank you. Never try to be someone else. Never try to be someone you're not. It is very easy to spot. This panel have seen lots of people. They're very good in understanding who is who. And if you try to be someone else, if you try to lie, it's going to be looking very funny. And the last one, I think my time is a little bit over. The last one is asking questions. So my first interview was very bad because of that. It was the COVID restrictions time and we had masks and we were sitting like 10 meters away from each other. It was so hard for me to hear the questions. And every time I was like, I'm sorry, what did you ask? Can you repeat that, please? I would ask it 2-3 times, and then I would be so shy to ask it again, and I would give answers assuming that this is probably this question. Never ever do it. It is totally fine to tell them, oh, that's an interesting question, can I just think about it? Don't hesitate to buy some time and think about your answers. It is totally fine. They never assess you depending on that, and they never assess you depending on what you've heard, what you have not. But if you assume that they have asked this question and you give a wrong answer, this might be a little bit of problem. Again, it's not an English language exam, and it is totally fine to clarify what was the question. And don't hesitate to ask them questions too. You know, these are people that have been to the UK several times and have been to the many interviews. And maybe you can prepare to think of a couple of questions to ask them. It can maybe help you to be remembered by them.
Thank you so much. It was like very impressive, and you totally make me feel to apply for Chevening again because of your tips that you gave for the future tuners. Thank you so much. It was like very impressive. I can't find the words to say thank you for your speech. And after you, I will try to cover some important tips. It's very hard, to be honest, to say something more because you totally cover all kind of like very important points that future Cheveners have to remember it. And guys, I hope that you wrote a lot of notes and tips that I will share for you. Kevin, please, can you change? Yes. So I just want to make sure that my voice is clear. Is it? Okay, cool. Great. So as most of you know, I'm Maia, and I will try to share my tips. So for me, guys, it was first time I applied for Chevening, and I've got it. And Aygul's experience was, I think, much useful because she has 2 different experience, and she trying to like say and notice what was kind of wrong and why she does not get it for the first time, and like we comparing how she can do the good interview for the panels. So I will starting. First of all, it's very important to planning your speech and read the essay as many times as you can. So this is the tips that my mentor shared for me, and she said like, Maia, read your essay as much as you can. And that time, unfortunately, I was not able to understand what he means. It's because that I was like, yeah, I wrote this essay. Of course, I do know what I wrote, but this is absolutely wrong. You guys prepare 3 months to wrote the essay, but on the interview stage, you need to read it as much as you can to feel like a fish in the water, because it's very important to feel comfortable on the interview stage and mention the important key points that you really wrote for your essay, and that's why they choose you to be on this stage. So reading your essay make you feel to understand what you wrote firstly, and analyzing that on the interview what you're gonna present. So planning is very important, and please remember, if you want, just write it on the paper and read it, that you have to read your essay as many times as you can. And trust me, at the end of the day of the interview, you will send me the message, and you will mention that, thank you, Maia, that forced us to make us read the essay. Because until now, I'm sending the message to my mentor and saying, oh my God, thanks that you really forced me to read my essay. Because I was thinking that, and I was sure that, oh, I know it because it's my essay and I wrote it. So unfortunately, when you read first time, you even that time mention the difference between like before reading and after reading your essay. So please make sure that you read your essay and don't forget it. It's like your homework. So second tips that I'm gonna share is like marketing yourself and what I mean that. So interview is a special stage. You're gonna prove yourself. It's meant that some of the people might write something that they have not done, and there is some cases that it's happened already. Like they trying to rank for the panels and they have chosen because the essay was very good, but on the interview stage, unfortunately, they can't prove themselves. So marketing yourself and what you wrote on the essay after reading your essay, you have to make a plan. Which kind of example you have to present it? Do you want to stick on the essay example, which is absolutely okay, or you want to present for them a new example because it's already 6 months gone after you wrote your essay? So there is a two opinion regarding this. Some of the Cheveners saying that, oh, don't add any new example. So personally, I took like for the first like a question which was about leadership, I stick on the like same example that I wrote on the essay. But for the networking, because it was already 6 months gone, I had new project and I focused completely for the new example. And they were surprised. They were like, how do you manage? Because it's only 6 months and it was very global project. And I connecting with 3 different countries in like this short period of time. And like, it's very important to plan your speech. And it's make you help to make yourself as a brand. So how do you want to make the position for them? Like which direction are you going? So marketing in this way are very important, and it will help you to be confident, which is absolutely important for the interview stage, because as I told you, this is the time to prove yourself. So you have to show them what you are speaking. I mean, if your body language are going in different way and your speech are like, I'm doing this and that, this is not a right position. So planning and marketing will help you to be as confident as possible. So designing, it's actually very important and interesting. And I think most of you already heard about the STAR approach, which is like very famous method for the interview stage. And most of the Chevener are using the STAR method, which is actually helping you to be, I can say like be confident. Also, it's linked, because when you use the STAR approach, you are very organized, and for the panels, it's very important because you have to tell them like situation, like which is S, task, action, and result. And all of these tips are very important and steps, because like they don't know which project it was, how many people were participating, what was your action, result of the project, and etc. So STAR approach will help you to organize your answer, make it possible to understand for the people who does not know about the project. So use it, because it's a very good approach. And if you don't know this method, please make a note right now and Google it later, because it's gonna be one of the good approach that Cheveners are use it for the interview stage. So next one is the research. As Aygul mentioned, I know that you have already done this and you have already visited the website and you have read most of the blog that they have already wrote for you and for us also. But there is for me, I realized also, I'm saying this because my mentor keep repeating for me, Maia, go for the website. They have every week new blog. And I said, I already know a lot, but it's wrong because they keep updating, and this will help you to be on like in real life, in the live, what's going on, and you have like to show the panel that you're interested in chevening, and you are not just like an applicant, and you are thinking about it like as a long-term connection and networking a possibility. It's very important. And you like, I remember that I mentioned a very, very new project that they presented for the fellow applicants, and it was like the panelists was shocked because they were like, oh really, is it something new that we don't have information about that? And I was like, yeah, they posted just 2 days ago. So I think this kind of like a very little details make them let's say like this was the main approach why I got successful for the chevening, because I showed them like, hey, I'm ready. I know who I am, where I am right now, and what I want to do in the future. And chevening is a possibility to go for it. I need a like a knowledge for for instance, inclusive education, and I know how to be put like which kind of marketing approach I should use for to be confident for you. And I told them, okay, this is my story, this is my task, this is my action, this is my result. So I already done something else. And right now I'm like on a stage that I'm reading every day the chevening. I follow them on social media. I read the blog that they publish. So I'm the one who is special, not everyone else doing this. And what is very important, and I think I will finish soon, is that use the key. So for me, keyword, and keep repeating these words. It's very important. So for me, inclusive education research was the main key points that I was focused on, because key points you have to find in your future goal. And as you know, like chevening, during the essay stage, we wrote the essay in like 4 different questions, but it's like whole one process that creating our story. So this story are connecting, and you can, whenever you go back and read your essay, you will find what was your key point. For me, it was inclusive education, it was research, it was networking. I was focused about networking, and I just want to add that chevening is not only academical focused program, so it's a huge networking focused scholarship. So you have to use chance here to saying that you are already part of the Global Mentorship program, and you already started to communicate with the alumni or fellow chevening. It's make you to be a unique and special. And like use the, okay, I think I muted. Yeah, use the chance to show them like for you it's very important to have a network inside a like a chevening, during the chevening journey and after the chevening journey. So chevening is a lifetime connection, and use this possibility to show them that you already realized this, and you are on the stage that you realize what you want in the future, and this make you feel to be confident as much as you can. So and on the slide you see that I mentioned that do mock-up interview as many times as you can. And it's very important, because if like my personal successful story make me feel to say this, because on the mock-up interview I actually realized where was my gap, where I have to improve, what I have to improve, and how. Because this is make you practice in even the question that panel would never ever think about this, but it's make you feel to be confident in the field that you are speaking and you're talking to them. And it's show them like, you know what, this question that you ask me, it's already very easy for me, because I know my topic, I know what I'm talking about, and I already practice a lot. But remember, as the Aygul said, practicing does not mean to remember everything word by word, because it's make you to lose this uniqueness that you have, and just be free. And sometimes I still have the video that I recorded because I was in Germany. I have not had lots of friends around me, so sometimes I just turn on the video on my phone and I record myself. I ask a question on myself, I answer also to myself, and then I listen. And I was analyzing my answer where I had a gap. And also timing is very important, because you have to understand what they ask and answer them exactly what they want to listen from you. Not like, I know that star, and that's why it's important to use star approach, because this is like directly answer of the question, but it's not always working for a lot of question. It's like help you to answer and cover leadership and networking. So I think I already finished, and floor is for you, Kevin, and go for it. And guys, I know, just I have seen that in the chat is a lot of question. We will answer it, all of them, after Kevin will finish. It will be your time. So thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Maya. Okay, so I won't take you long, because I think every point from our alumni is already covered all of the tips, maybe because I did my interview last year's actually the same time. Maybe next month is 1 year's anniversary. So I would say
Just, I don't
that's
want
all.
to interrupt you. Just, can you please change the slide, because I still
Yeah,
see
cool.
my slide. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
forgot it. So I was interviewing the first stage. I mean, so I go in interview stage in the first time, and then I took all the tips and advice from Maya last year's, and also from many alumni that come to these sessions, like you all, that I was. Oh, sorry, I was there. So I think some points may be a little bit from Maya and my sister, and so I tried so hard to get some point differently. I mean, because I saw the slide and many points is already been covered. So yeah, my first thing is you. I think you should read your essays, and what I do last year, it's um I read my essays and record it, and I listen to them. Like when I go, I drive my cars, and I doing things, cookings. So I listen to it. It's like to be familiar with your story, because that is your story. So you have to understand what you wrote, and the questions from the panelists, actually all of the questions, not all, but most of the questions will based on what you wrote on your essays. So think about that. And also what I did last year is I read my essays and I try to find the gaps from my writing. It's like because there's a word. Sorry. No worries. I muted. Yeah. So because of words, there's a word limit, right? When you write your essays. So maybe there's many things you want to write about this, but actually there's no space. So maybe that's a gap of your story. Maybe the questions is gonna come from that gap. The panelist gonna ask you, can you give more example, or maybe to trying to like get you to explain more about that story. So when you get familiar with your story, you define the gap from your story. Yeah. My second point is to be positive, like optimistic, because I I know. Okay. Wait, can you just me? Okay. So I know you are nervous about to attend interviews, but the panelists won't kill you, even they act like they want. But but I feel like I going in like shillings, like okay, I just want to talk with them and answer them questions. So um, they just want to know you more based on your essays because you don't know the people from reading the like 4 page of essays, so they just want to know you more, so that I keep in my mind that I will go in the room with positive mind, like be happy and like no nervous at the time. I mean, for for a month that you prepare, maybe that you got stressed or maybe you're nervous, you're worried, but for when the times come, I think you should relax and then thinking you're ready for that. Just make it. Yeah. The third point is research. Like my alumni always says, we need to like research for your maybe your background or fields, like specialist field, your professional field, because I mean, some of the following questions, it's not based on your essays, but maybe it's based on your specialized. For example, I forgot to tell I'm studying journalism, like a social science. So, for example, the world events, it's what I have to researching for that because the panelists asked me several questions about the wars and the medias, the world medias, the BBCs, because the BBC is based in UK, right? So I I advise you to research on your field about the world event, or maybe based on Britain cultures as well as your past achievement from your specialist, because they're gonna ask you anyway. Also, be clear about your future goals on your focusing field. That's what could be useful. Yeah. Come to my last point. So quickly. So you should like the follow Shima said, you should show your personality because to be attend the interview is not, it's about to be professional, but it's not all. It's also about letting your personality shine through. So you should be prepared to talk about your hobbies, maybe asp aspirations, and and also your experience about something out of the classroom, or maybe out of your workplace, because that's what they're gonna know you more. And also it's portray your personality to benefit the connection building for the Chevener, because Chevening is about making network and connection, right? So make them see what your reading be like, be original and be confident, like my friend said. Yeah, and I mean the last thing I would say, it's to be get a restful time, a restful sleep, because like the day before the interview day, I know that everything is on your mind, so you couldn't get sleep maybe. So trying to get more sleep as you want. Well, maybe you couldn't do it, right? I mean, can't lie. Yeah, but I get enough sleep, and I think it's helped because some of the children say when you get so like so nervous and you get not enough sleep, it's make you like dizzy, or maybe yeah, couldn't think much as you want. Yeah, so that's what my tips maybe is useful for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, so much. It was actually very useful. I like, guys, when I listened to you, I realized how lucky they are to listen to you, because your experience, like you guys listen, three of us, so each experience are very different and very unique. So for this, just want to mention that chevening are based on your uniqueness. So don't be shy to be yourself on the interview stage. I just want to add one more thing that it's very important for you on this stage is that, like, I know it's discussable topic. Just want to speak about this because most of you interesting if it's possible to change your university. Well, some of the chevening scholars saying that don't do it. And on my interview stage, my mentor told me, Maia, please don't do it because you already have, like when I was on interview stage, I already had my unconditional offer from the University of Glasgow, but I was like, no, I have to change. He said, Maia, he trying to make me to not do this, but I've done and I changed my university. Right now, I realize why he was that like he has that kind of anxiety, and he was like, don't do that, because when you are an applicant, you don't realize that being a leader means that you're also organized, you know what you want, and you have time to manage this stuff. So which means that 3 months that you have during that time that you write your essay, you have enough time to looking for the university, search a lot of information about the course, about the university where you want to apply. So this kind of action that you change your university on the interview stage make panel feels like you are not confident what you want to do. You don't know, like you're not stable person in a long-term perspective, and as a leader it's kind of weakness because you had time and you did not use this time for make a research. So this is not good sign, but I don't saying that like it's impossible to get chevening if you change your university. So in my case, I had an academical like a gap between the course that I have chosen, and I had a, so like I've done action. I did not say I just came here on the interview and wanted to change the university. No. So I showed them on the website, I made research. I knew that this course was about this, but then I contact with a course leader. They are very open, guys. All of the university course leader are very open. I text them. I said, like, can we have a conversation about this course? Because I was thinking to change this particular course. And she was very open. She met me. We had a Zoom meeting. We talked to each other, and I find it out that it was not focused about inclusive education. It was focused about general education. So I showed them panel that, guys, it's like in the course on the online saying that they had 2 subjects about inclusive education, but general course is focused about education management. So this, for this reason, for this academical reason that I made action, I met them. I want to change because I want to be focused about inclusive education. So I think depends how you change your university. If you just say, oh, sorry, I have like I got rejection from 3 of university that I applied and I want to change, of course, you can't make chevening because it's the weakness. So depend how you make marketing and promotion of your action. So Aygul, I see that your hand is raised. So if you want to add something, just go for it. If not, we can just move for the question and answer session.
Just before we go to the questions and answers, I wanted to thank you, Maia, and because we didn't in the beginning. Thank you for putting everything together. I know that this is a lot of effort. This is a lot of time and energy. And with all that hectic life we have after the UK, it is not easy. And for everyone, Maia has been in most of the chevening events and she knows a bunch of cheveners. So it is very important to know Cheveners, because I have been to the interview twice, yes, but when you see the others, you kind of have an idea what kind of people get Chevening. And I would say this is very important. If you have any Cheveners in your country, try to get to know them. It's very, very, it's a big advantage. And thank you again, Maia, for everything.
Thank you. I've got shy. My cheeks are already red. So I think we can move on the question answer slide. And guys, I will check whose hand is raised. Most of questions are in the chat. So Muhammad, I think I've seen your hands first, and go for it.
First, thank you so much for this effort. It is a major effort. Thank you, all of you. I want just to discuss a point about the English simplicity. Okay, so basically me and my friend, thank God we got accepted. The thing is that my friend tend to use more complex word, while I tend to use more simplest word, like to be more, like my English is good as far as I know, but I am trying to use very simple word to explain my idea and avoid generic information like about my contribution, my like just giving real life examples of my roles, how did I did a positive impact, my leadership traits. Now I'm afraid that I'm too simple to be accepted in the in the next phase. So basically, what advice do you give me? Also, the second part of the question, and I'm really sorry, I know there is a lot of question in the chat. The second part is actually I'm tending to having sample answers and answer it based on my essays instead before reading my essays. I know I should read my essays, but now I'm gathering sample answers, like answers that provoke for leadership, networking, or these kind of the four essays. However, I gathered like a bunch of questions and trying to answer them, tailor my answers to best meet the qualification of the interview. um, are there anything that I should do? Is there any recommendation regarding the simplicity and complexity that I should do?
Who guys want you to answer for the?
Well, I will answer the first part since I've started the use the language you're capable of, tip. Well, first of all, I didn't see who was that, but that is a very good English. Don't think that your English is simple or something. Your accent is really good, and I mean, by the couple of seconds you're asking the question, I can clearly understand that you have a great English. Don't worry about it. If you speak in this style, it doesn't at all mean that you're using simple English, but it depends on your capability. What I want to say, my point was, you're going to be focusing on a bunch of things. Just don't push things. If you try to, remember like 15 words that you're going to use inside your interview, inside your speech, it's too much pushing yourself, because you're going to be stressed. You have to think about your answers, you have to think about your storytelling, you have to think about flowing your speech and everything, a lot of details, and trying to remember all these words and trying to use them in the right sentence in the right moment. It's too much of a suffering for you. That's why I would recommend just use the English that you're using in your daily life. Don't push many things. And secondly, of course, probably in your field, you have some specific things that you want to say. And I am sure that with the research, you learn very well a couple of words related to your field. And sometimes it seems simple to you, but it is not simple to everybody else. Don't think that your English is simple, and it is totally fine. So someone can take over the second question.
Can you please just repeat, because I actually forget that. And for the next applicants, just guys ask one question, and when we finish to answer, like it's better to say another question after, because like it's hard to focus. So go for it. And I know you all are appreciate what we are doing, and thank you guys, Kevin and Aygul, that be part of the project. Alone I can't do anything. I know you all are appreciate. Just be focused about question because of the timing. It's already 1 hour that we are speaking. I know it's hard to focus that's long for the speech, so go for it, and please repeat the second question.
Of course, and sorry for taking a lot of your time. Okay, so basically, what I'm doing is gathering sample answers. So I've gathered questions for chevening leadership, networking, study in the UK, and the career plans. So I gathered about 18 questions each for each title. So basically, is this method wrong or right? Like I'm gathering answers, reading my essay, answer those questions, and then train on them. And as I don't want to use words, I'm more depending on the flow of the questions. However, is this method wrong to start with or not?
So yeah, absolutely. You are good. You are doing very well. I just advise you. I don't know if you are part of the mentorship program. That are you part of the WhatsApp group where you meet other Chevener from all over the world? If yes, please make mock-up interview and ask each other this question, and repeat it by yourself, record it, listen this. It's absolutely good way. You are on the right page. Keep going, and I hope that you will make your like a successful shoot on this time, or if it's your first time, I hope that you will be on the final stage. It's very good approach. Like I personally done that.
Thank you.
So for me, the first one is Reham. If guys, I made mistake of pronunciation, please, sorry for that. I know you are from like all over the world. It's like 80 different countries. So sorry for that if I make any mistake to pronounce your name. Reham, go for it.
Yeah, I just, hello in the beginning for everyone. And thank you, Maia, for this opportunity. First thing, I just wanted to say that I was shortlisted last year and I was in reserve list. After now, I am here again and I am shortlisted now. To be honest, that could like in somehow affected my self-confidence because I didn't know what should I change this year to satisfy the panel. I didn't know what should I focus more. Some people, they told me they like always people they are shortlisted more than 1 year. They always asked more questions and most likely to be more difficult questions. I didn't know if that's out of our research or out of our essays, but in general, I just wanted to know what should I focus? Is it really there is more difficult questions now? And what kind of these questions should be asked for the people we are shortlisted more than one time? And thank you.
So I personally don't have experience for this. Aygul, I think you have to also answer this question, please.
Okay, so it definitely depends on the country first of all. In my case, I come from a small country, and in my panel, one person was the same person the second year. So it was a person from British Embassy, and she knew me before. She knew me on the first year, and the second year when I came, and she's like, "Oh my God, again you!" So she knew that I'm the second year applicant, and they all knew. And the first question they asked me was, what has changed in this 1 year? I would say probably the first question you should focus on is what changed in yourself in this 1 year. In my case, I was so lucky. I was very frustrated when I didn't get Chevening, but I got an amazing job. And it was the best job probably I've had in my life. And I had so much fun and I've learned a lot. But I am sure during this 1 year, you have done something. And you can find a couple of things that you could tell that adds up to your personality, to your experience, to your I don't know, application or anything. So probably you should focus on something that happened during this 1 year that you've been away. But as I said, if you come from a big country, sometimes they might not even know that you're applying for the second year. But I would say applying for the second year is not a disadvantage. It is quite an advantage because it showcases that you insist on having chevening. For example, they asked me that, you're capable of getting other scholarships. Why did you apply again and something? I said, because I want chevening. I don't want anything else. I could maybe get something else. I could maybe study somewhere else, but I want Britain and I want chevening. And I was quite confident. And I would say when I was out of interview, I thought maybe I was a little bit much because, I was like, I want it, I will get it. And that type of, a mood kind of helped me, but it is very personal, obviously. I think it's really an advantage, and nobody really told me that the second year is more difficult than the first year or something. As I said, my first year was hell of a journey, like 45 minutes. They were shooting questions from everywhere. The second year, it was just less than 15 minutes. It was super chill. And I thought, okay, they didn't ask me questions. Probably I didn't get it, but in the end, I got it. So never judge depending on the difficulty of the questions, never judge on depending on the length or anything. Just focus on what have changed in you. I would say this should give you more confidence because you have been to that room once, and going in the second time, it's going to be the familiar room. It's going to be maybe familiar people or familiar style. Just focus on that side. Focus like you've been here, you know this place, you own it, and just go get it.
Thank you so much. I hope that you guys will find easier to find the answer for our speakers. Amanda, please go for it.
Thank you so much, Maia, for the opportunity. Thank you, Aygul and Kevin, for the wonderful presentations. My question is on my course choices. I've managed to get unconditional offers on my first option and my third option. But then my question now is, if I'm successful on the interview, is it a must that I should take the first option, or I can opt for the third option since I have an unconditional offer? Thank you.
Kevin, you can answer the question. Go for it.
I'm not sure that I understand it clearly, but in the interview you can change the order of the choice of your university. So which one that you prefer to come the first, like which one you already got the unconditional offer, you can just swap it to the first choice. So you can tell the panelists that you want this because of this, or yeah, I think you can do in the interview session. It's easy.
Yeah.
They're gonna ask you anyway in the end. Yeah.
But for me, I advise you to just keep it how is it, because it does not matter which ranked you have your university, because they don't ask you like, are you going for the first rank or third rank? It's just like for you to know that which university are like priority for you. And for this, I think like it does not really matter for Chevening which 3 of the university you will choose at the end. So you need only one offer from these 3 universities that you mentioned in your application. So, and also remember, guys, the interview is the last stage to change your university. So this is the last chance. If you really want to, like, if there is a case that you got rejected from all the 3 universities that you mentioned in the application, you can change only one. I advise you to just don't make them questioning like, oh, what these applicants are doing, is he or she are doing well, like are she's already or he got rejected and she and he wanted to just change the university, or what's going on. So like, don't acting to make them like have a question regarding your action. You can change, I think, only one universities in the case that you got rejected for the 3 universities that you have chosen. Any other case, it does not matter which rank is your university, like first, third, or second, second or third. Important is to get unconditional offer until the deadline from only one university, like minimum one university that you have mentioned in the application. So, Soberan Careta, I don't know if I pronounce well, but go for it. I see your friend.
Hello, Maia. Thank you, Maia, Aygul, and Kevin for this opportunity. My question has already been asked, but I will pick a question from the chat because I think that was important. What kind of questions, if you did you ask to the panel? Like, did you have any question to them? Would you have a suggestion for us in order to make an impression? Thank you.
I think each of us will have a definitely like different experience. I personally asked them 2 questions, and one of them was like Georgian Chevening alumni association page was not active, and I asked them like what was the reason, and if there was like really some group that were doing some activities, and I promised them that I will make it active because I really enjoy to share my knowledge and experience to the people who are passionate to continue studying abroad. And the second question was related to my field, to connecting to the UK embassy. Like I said, I know that you guys have a program for inclusive education. I'm interested as an alumni if I can write the project for the inclusive education and be part of the program that you are doing. So yeah, that was 2 of my question. Aygul, Kevin, you can also answer the question because I know all of us, we have a different experience.
Yeah, Siloa, you can go first.
Okay, I believe it's very personal and specific. It depends on your field. It depends on you. I can't really suggest you a type of question that you can ask. You know, it's going to sound, as the first point I made, it's going to sound like it's by heart and it's not natural. In my case, they asked me about my university choices, and I kind of have an uncommon choice. I went to Aberdeen, and it's quite up north. It's super cold and gloomy. It's super gray. But I researched it very well. I was looking for a small city. I was looking for a place that is small, cheap, with kind people, with a lot of specific languages, which it has. It has a specific Scottish language. And I was very sure on my option because, first of all, my course was excellent, but it's not a university that is popular for studying humanities. And when I said Aberdeen, I could feel in their eyes that they're like, Aberdeen, really? Why? I mean, like one person made a comment like, "Do you know it's so cold there?" I was like, "Yeah, I lived in Copenhagen." I mean, yeah, I immediately said that I lived in Copenhagen. It's almost the same weather. Then I was like, yeah, okay, if you survive there, you'll probably survive in everything. So in the end, I used the chance to ask a couple of questions about the city, but, you know, in a way that shows that I know the city, how I can, you know, research about it online, but have you actually been there? Is it like that? You know, I know these things. Is it really true? Just a little bit of showing off that I have done my research about the city, and it's not just an option, you know, it's not something that I've done without researching very well. So I basically tried to use it as an advantage, but it definitely depends on your personal case, on your application, on your field.
Yeah, okay, in my case, I would say I asked them 2 questions. It's based on my strategy as well. I asked them about the program about the journalists, like the Britain embassy has been sponsored the projects like to build new generation of journalists in Thailand, but 5 years ago it was stopped. So that I bring the questions like I want to ask you why that you stopped this kind of project, because I think it's useful for the new generation of journalists, and it's make them shocks a short time, because they they couldn't imagine that I know that the embassy involved with this kind of projects. So that showed you are researching about the things that a Britain government doing in your country. So I think that kind of question is good. So and the second one, I asked them to discussing about the media and like a news ecosystem in Thailand in the futures. So it's kind of nerd. I mean, yeah, I know it's nerd. So they're speaking like discuss on that a bit. But I think it's good chance to talk with them based on your question, because you can scope what you can speak like good.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, as Aygul also mentioned on the presentation, this is kind of way to make them remember you. So use this chance and ask them question and prepare for this. So we will answer next 5 questions on this session, but you guys remember we have more 5 sessions. So you have a chance to ask other panels tomorrow, after tomorrow, and next week. So we will have 9 more minutes, and I will start from the list. Simra, please go for it. Like directly question, please.
Okay, so my question is around the course choices that I have. So basically, the courses that I've selected, all of them are from the same field, but the course type is different. For example, one is MPhil program, the second one is an MPA program, and the third one is an MSc program. So is this something that they can question me on? If yes, then how can I go about it? But this field of all 3 of them is same, it's tech policy.
So as I understand, are these 3 courses similar field, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I think you're safe. I will just take this question. I think you're safe as far as you prove why you have chosen these 3 university in your essay. This will be the chance that you realize you already know why you have to study and how it helped you to build your future, make you stronger. I think it's not gonna be problem because you are already on this stage. It's mean that it's okay for them to have this kind of like a same field. It's actually like that, right? You choose 3 like a similar course, but 3 different university and 3 different course in one university. So I think you are safe and that's okay. Just prepare how it's help you in the future. And if you're like if you're sure that you want one of them most and you can prioritize this kind of direction more, so it's up to you to talk about 3 of them. For instance, I had like 3 different university and like all of the 3 courses was about education, mostly inclusive education. So I just was focused about, my key point was inclusive education. So I was talking about inclusive education and it was absolutely okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Jana Rashek, please.
Hi, Maia. I just have one question about the time that we will answer our answers, because like I have too much examples in my essays, so I don't want to be like dominating the interview. So what's your advice about the time when we answer each question? Is it like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or it doesn't have to exceed the 3 minutes? This is my question.
You guys take this question if you want. Just go for it. Aygul, Kevin.
For me, I would say
I've
it's
seen, Aygul just answer on the chat, so you can answer to Kevin.
yeah. I mean, it's easy. It's not based on the time. I mean, the periods of the answers. Just know that you answer, I mean, clearly, and maybe use a star approach, as mine said. So cover all the aspect that they want, just that. So long or short is not matter for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Kevin. Just I will add one more point about star approach that I mentioned on the interview, like on the speech time. You can just use star approach, and it's will gonna make you like complete your answer in a very easy way and short way as well. So like if the panelist will realize that you talk a lot about regarding the question and they got you, they will stop you. So it's not gonna be a problem, or it's not bad or good sign. So you don't have to worry about this, but prepare for it and use the star approach. It will help you to plan your answer. Keta, go for it, please.
Hello. So I want to ask about the question where they ask, tell us about yourself. So some of the applicants in the WhatsApp group have prepared the 6-minute answers, and they touched almost everything. So it was impressive, but I got bored. So when I listened, and I suggested them to like shorten it. But I want to hear your experience, like what was your structure, and also what do you suggest us how to prepare for that introduction part of the interview?
Yeah, I think introduction is very, very important because you have to open the session. This is like first impressions. You have to use the first impression strategy because like on this stage, you make kind of like expression, who are you? And it's very important. Like personally, I took 3 minutes to introduce myself because in the essay, unfortunately, you don't have that much space to talk about yourself, and it's included my hobby and so I changed profession. So I mentioned who I was before, who I wanted to be at the time. So it's very about like you and like it's depend what you want, which kind of signal you want to give them in the future. So make them linked in your introduction. So open it not more than 3 minutes, because I don't think that it's gonna be helpful because you have to be very specific, and it's only sometimes 15 minutes, like minimum 15 minutes. So if you be focused about introduction part very long time, you might not have enough time to like cover all of the question that they have. Make something original also, or maybe like creative. It's very important. Like not dense, of course, but related to the topic. Yarita, please go for it.
Oh, hi guys. Thank you for being here. Well, my question is about in my country we are two person. They are two person, me and another, that are in the same field, in the same career, civil engineer, and both received the interview in May. So my question is that there are some problems that both are in the same field, in the same career, because our field or study is different. For example, project management, and the other people is hydrogeology, some of that. So when people say us that is not common that two persons of the same career go to the scholarship.
Aygul, are you still typing on the chat? Or you
did I understand it right? Is it that two people with the same course applied at the same time? Is it the question?
Yeah,
Yes.
as I understand, there is 2 applicants who got the invitation for the interview for
Yeah.
the same field.
Yeah, it can happen. In my year, we were just, I think, 8 or 9 Cheveners, and 2 of us were in the same field. And I was doing film and visual culture, and another person was doing film studies, which is very related and very uncommon for Chevening to have, because as you know, maybe even just by the naked eye, you could see that there are not many film students in the Chevening Awards. So it happened to me, and it can definitely happen to you. Don't think that you're competing with that person. It is totally normal. Just showcase your personality. It depends on how you impress the panel.
So we thank you so much, Aygul. We will take more 2 questions and any other question, guys, for tomorrow, because we are like already 1 hour and 31 minutes on the platform. So Abrar, please go for it. Directly question, please.
Hello, can you hear me? So I think my question has to do a little bit with her question. I'm not sure I heard it correctly, but mainly I want to ask about the fact that do they try to pick people from each sector that's invited to the interview stage, and I'm more curious to know actually what differentiates people at this stage. I mean, of course, you do have to sound natural, not like memorizing everything, but I'm still not sure what makes a person unique at this point of the interview stage. What makes them differentiated from others, and how do they pick their Cheveners?
That's actually cute and very useful question. Just firstly, I want to start that you are already unique because you have chosen from out of 70,000 applicants, as I remember correctly. So it's mean that you're unique and you're a future leader because you are on the interview stage. When I was on your stage, I actually felt the same. I was like, why am I unique? But then when I go back to read my essay, when I practice for the interview stage, I realized that yes, I'm unique because not a lot of women from Georgia are going to study inclusive education. Not a lot of women are brave to change the profession when they are 24. So I just presenting this kind of little tips or like a uniqueness that I had. So I'm more than sure that you are already on this stage. It's mean that you do have unique parts. Just go for it, read your essay, and find it out what is your uniqueness, because in daily life we don't realize if personally we are unique or not, but when we read what we have done already, it's make us feel proud firstly, and we realize that yes, we are unique because of this and this and that. So I'm more than sure that you already have this uniqueness because you are on this stage. So read your essay, and if you need any help, just DM me and I might help you for some how to find it out. So one last question, Carmen, please go for it.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Oh.
Yes, so much. Oh, I'm sorry, Carmen, right?
Yes, Carmen, please.
Thank you so much for this space. I have 2 questions. I wanted to know if I have been offered an unconditional letter, I should mention it, and how should I mention it in the interview? And if I should repeat my examples from my essay and maybe give more detail, or should I change my examples in order to give them, I don't know, more information about me? Thank you so much.
I will answer the first question, and for the second one, you guys can answer it. So about the unconditional letter, as I already mentioned, I had already from University of Glasgow unconditional offer. So when I was talking about why UK study part, and they asked me, why do you want to study UK? In this part, I mention it like, oh, this is my first choice, University of Glasgow. To be honest, like it was hard to manage it, but I already have an unconditional offer because I was waiting for like 3 months, and they were like, oh, already unconditional offer. So like it was not like I just say to them like, oh, I have unconditional letter. When I just put it in my speech, and I said like, oh guys, do you know what, like for the first choice that I already talking about, I already have an unconditional offer, I apply for that. So if some of you have unconditional letter, please mention on the interview, because it's good sign. It's mean that you're a good leader, you manage your time to apply for it. But if you don't have, don't panic, it's nothing wrong, you still have time. But if some of you are still here who have not applied yet, please apply, start applying for the university today, because it's late and you don't have to be rushed at the end. So go for it, apply for it, and I'm sure that you will get the answer from the university very soon. There was one case from last year mentorship, unfortunately, one girl who had been chosen for Chevening. She have tried 5 times and she finally got the accepted for Chevening, and unfortunately she did not make it because of the university. So please guys, applying as soon as possible, because sometimes you think you have time, but each university has a deadline, and like there is some holidays, some like not working time for the university, or university getting busy. So be sure to apply on time. So I think if you guys want to listen again another question, you can repeat it, and one of my colleagues will answer for your question. Can you please repeat second question?
Yes, sorry. I wanted to know if you recommend to repeat the examples of my essay, or should I give other examples to give them more information about me?
What are your in my opinion, I think you can just pick one when they are asking you in some topics. You just choose one that you think it's solid enough, or maybe it can show your work and show your planning, or I think you just pick it once to show them, not bring it all like Aygul recommends before. Like when you bring everything in at the same time, it's make you confused.
Yeah, I think regarding this, I agree, Kevin, and I will just add that more like little details, that if you like focus about leadership, for instance, you can just start from one example, and if they ask you like, can you confirm this and that, or if they have some following question, you can present new one or just take the one that you already wrote. It's actually very up to you, because like you have to feel comfortable because it's your story, right? So if you want to present new example, it's not wrong. If you want to be focused about the one you already wrote, it's also not wrong. So there is nothing wrong to choose new example or to just repeat the one you already wrote on the essay. Each Chevener has own approach. Both of them are right. It's just depend which one you feel comfortable. Kevin, just can you please change the slide? Thank you so much, guys. I know you have still question. I have seen the raised hand, but we don't have that much time today because we are already 1 hour and 40 minutes here. And on the slide, you see that we're planning also to have a second session tomorrow. Thank you so much, Aygul, Kevin, for being here with me, because I just want to repeat that alone I can't do anything. And you also can, guys, remember this. You might have some ideas, but without like-minded people, you can't achieve the goal. So just I'm happy to have chevening mates like you guys, and thank you so much for your uniqueness, and thank you so much bring here your personal story, and it's very, very important. And see you tomorrow. If you guys want to add, Aygul and Kevin, something, just floor for you, and see you tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, I just want to say good luck, and never, never, ever stress too much about it. It's not the end of the world. It's just one step in your life, and it's just a couple of minutes. Don't think of it as a huge event that will, everything will depend on that. No, it's definitely not that, and I'm probably a living example of that. So don't stress too much, and just try to be prepared in a relaxed way. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again.
Thank you. We're waiting for you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So